Hello.
A lot of people say lower your car. I say opposite. You need to raise it. Okay. It is now Thursday. I'm over the shop. I'll give you a little tour of what I did on the BMW. So, intake manifold's off. This sucked the other day because it was fucking freezing out. Intercooler's off, radiator's off, core support's off, turbo's off, meth kit's about to be off, and then I'm gonna continue disconnecting whatever I possibly can, get this thing ready to just yank right out of here. Kind of sucks that it's outside, but we don't have enough room in the shop. So, gotta toughen up, Buttercup. I did get to drive this to the shop. Big surprise. I gotta go get the rest of the import docs swapped over, but got us a temp registration, which is fucking dope, so I got to drive it here legally. This thing definitely needs some work. It needs some suspension arms and probably a bunch of other bushings and stuff, subframe bushings. It just rides kind of shitty and it clunks a lot. The other thing that's wrong with it is the power brakes and the power steering are not working. And I don't know if on these models, the ECU from the engine controlled the ABS and the power steering, because this is the Tour V. And the Tour V had a whole bunch of extra traction control and stuff that didn't normally have, like JZXs didn't normally have. So I don't know if that's a problem, but I do have a 1J pump that'll work just fine on there, and so I'm gonna try and swap the power steering pumps at some point. I don't know if I'm gonna do it right now. I honestly want to just keep driving it, but power brakes and power steering would be really nice. This is coming to a stop kind of sucks balls. And I want to drive it a little bit before we go down to like the next stage, but we are going to dyno it tomorrow, so that will be in this video. I'm gonna keep going with this video. Like I said, I want to do either a full week of filming or something along there. I do need to put it back in the shop and do another, you know, bolt check, nut and bolt check, make sure it's all good. But right now, this is the priority, getting this thing out of here and get it prepped for the LS. All right, so we need to get the rest of this harness out of the way and pulled up and off the car. So I'm gonna try and get that done. Starting with whatever this shit goes to. Is somewhere down here. This is why I'm going in LS right here. Do you see this? This conglomerate of fucking bullshit. This is insane. Like, what the fuck? This is all burnt. Okie dokie. Alright guys, so it is now Saturday. We got a couple things to do before we go up to Boise and we test out the log manifold with the wastegates out the side and everything on Gap Tuning's dyno. Eric will be there. I am going to set up a wideband because the O2 sensor on this is not connected. For whatever reason, when I hook it up, the thing just runs like shit. So I'm going to hook up this wideband so we at least know what's going on. And then see how much power it makes, I guess. We got to cut that old O2 sensor off and weld the bong on real quick. Right. We are in Boise. Made it pretty good. Nothing new has transpired. It seems to be the same. Still very vibrating. And we're getting off on this exit to go to Eric's house. We're up at Eric's house, the man, the myth, the legend.
Howdy.
And we're gonna get the wideband set up because there's, like I said before, there's no O2 sensor. Seems to run way better without it. I'm positive that that's not great for it, but it's probably not fuel trimming at all. I'm hopeful that there is some, you know, redundancy between the map sensor and the MAF sensor that's going to help keep it reasonably lean and not totally pig rich. But
it doesn't quite make sense why it runs better with that disconnected, but we'll find out once we get the wideband hooked up.
Yeah, it definitely runs better though. I hook that O2 sensor up in any fashion in any number of wire order, and it runs like absolute dog shit. And only after it warms up.
And
as soon as the heater works out.
Flying blind until we get the link installed.
Yeah. Once we get the link, we can just say, fuck you, dumbass bullshit over there, and just make this thing a fucking monster.
Right.
Turbo, how do you think, in your personal opinion, what are your predictions? What do you think how well it's going to work?
Hard to say. I would think it would spool a little bit quicker with the hybrid manifold.
Just because of the higher back pressure levels?
Yeah, just it's a little bit straighter.
Yeah.
Hard to say.
And these are like fully ported. Like I milled the inside out pretty drastically so that number, what is it, the number 2 and the number 5 cylinder have like a straight pass through to that runner. So I'm kind of curious to see what the spool is. I've driven it. It does seem pretty responsive. I'm just thinking that higher up in the RPMs, it's going to choke it out.
Yeah, just
pretty bad.
Based on the volume of the hybrid versus the tubular, I would think it would spool quicker, but maybe not flow as well at top.
Yeah.
But we're only going to run it to about 14 pounds due to the factory ECU, so we'll see if it's even in the chute.
Yeah, I agree. I guess there's only one way to find out. Eric's over here in crunch time mode. Got minutes on the clock. Lab trying to get in the car. Trying to get wideband wired.
My personal assistant.
Yes, yeah. And how are you? You're doing well, I see. Right now, we've fixed a couple things, like the battery terminal was super sketchy. So we got that squared away. And now Eric's trying to get the wideband just kind of set up for now, so we can get over to gap tuning. She's like, I just want to party, dude. So that's where we're at. The wideband sensor though is in and routed over, so that's good. All squared away. About to solve the mystery or be totally terrified by how incredibly lean or rich it is. One of the two. Eventually we will be going to the Matt Panic conversion harness, because he sells a really quick and easy kind of setup for the Link ECU on the 2J GTE VVTi setup. We're going to do that, but for right now, and for this test of the tubular versus the tubular log modified, we're going to be running the stock ECU. So if you guys try to replicate this at home, you'll have the same effect. So we have the wideband wired up. For whatever reason, it is reading almost nothing, like it's lean, which is curious. Leads me to believe that we have a sensor issue. There we go. Door was open. I'm gonna get out my phone here. Okay. You know where you're going? Something's smoking. Whatever that is, not good. This is not good, whatever this is. Why is that smoking? What is that going to? We made it. It was a little hairy there for a minute. I'm sure on the GoPro footage you see the wire start to smoke, and I have a little panic on me. But we made it here. We got that one segment of wire swapped out. Thanks to Eric, he swapped it out real quick.
I'm the owner of Gap Tuning here in Nampa, Idaho. We do a little bit of everything. We got a two-wheel drive Dyno jet.
Yeah.
You know, one of my mechanics, S2000 that we turboed.
Yeah.
And then all kinds of random stuff. EFI conversions on trucks, the twin turbo LS Volvos.
Yeah, which I've actually had a
LT
hand
trucks. Yeah, we worked on Subarus, Hondas, Volvos.
in. So what would you say your primary, expertise would be in?
Probably Subarus, Hondas, and GM.
Okay.
All that stuff.
So if you need to throw some stuff on the dyno or have some stuff worked on up here in Meridian, hit them up. And they were gracious enough to let us come up here and do the whole turbo manifold test between the tubular log manifold modified conversion, and then when we come back with another tubular manifold bolted up, see what the power difference is. Now, what we were talking about earlier is why is this car running so well considering it doesn't have a factory O2 sensor? Makes no sense at all, but I guess when we hook up the sniffer, we're gonna see if there's a massive difference, but let's get this thing loaded up. Just blew all those papers off. Didn't even give a shit. Just was like, okay. Alright, try it forward. It's like zero hesitation. It was just like. It freight trained up top, man.
Yeah, holy crap. It's good that you got your Ninja Turtle.
Yeah, it's a Ninja 30. That's why it's so good. And it just lit out of there like it was
like, you want me
ready
to
to.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. It's just weird.
Two runs back to back in fourth gear. We have a slight deviation in the spool here. It could just be the way that you hit it RPM wise or throttle. We're gonna try to up the boost a little bit. Upping the boost here isn't actually gonna change the spool, but we do wanna get as high as we can and see if it chokes at all.
Yeah.
At higher RPM.
Because it looks like it's incredibly consistent. Oh, there we go.
So we're gonna do
that,
real ghetto
that'll work.
manual boost control.
That
method.
seems excessive.
We'll do another run. Shouldn't affect this. We'll get 2 more runs in and see if we have any boost issues at a higher level.
Yeah. It'll be interesting.
Send it.
Is that an IUD for your?
Yeah. This is to clear out your pussy.
It's a birth control.
Yeah, yours. Yeah, boost controller is installed. He says it's fine, so I guess we'll see if it's fine. If nothing else, the map sensor will freak the fuck out and shut us down real quick. Because I'm pretty sure it's only good to 14.5 PSI. However, I have seen people run more, but this is already breaking all the conventional thought process. So
We're far outside the realm of normal possibility here, so
yeah, none of this should ever work.
doesn't really make sense. But
Yeah.
we're basically pushing analog as far as we can go just to see what happens.
Yeah.
That made
Holy crap.
like 4 or 5 more pounds.
377, 397.
Is this
boost?
Yeah.
dude?
Yeah, it peaked at 15.
That's where I think you should keep it right there.
It peaked at 15 and then it came down like 13, 14.
All right, well, Boosty, I mean, that couldn't have been any better. Pretty much 15 pounds on the nose. And the FRs actually look like they're still good. They're in the same range as they were, which means it was totally compensating for more
Yeah, we
boost.
had a little bit of deviation here, but as far as the factory ECU is concerned, it's pretty surprising that it's still working so well considering the rest of the setup.
And there's still no factory O2 sensor at all. So I don't even know.
That's only going to affect it in cruise.
As far as it
area,
trims.
for throttle idle, you're not going to.
Is it a narrow band isn't going to read?
Well, it's not going to
Outside of
affect
that.
it up into boost,
Yeah.
just because you're going to be an open loop. But the fact that we're running that well with the factory ECU, map sensor, and the map sensor is pretty surprising.
It fucking rips. And it just seems to
And at
just do it over and over
14
again.
pounds, we just hit 370.
390 torque, all 400 wheel torque.
We do see boost continue to drop off a little bit towards the end, so after we swap the manifolds over, it'll be interesting to see how it changes from spool up right here at this RPM, and then see if it actually holds that boost longer with the tubular manifold. That's the idea.
Fighter jets, JZX90 ways to break your neck. Close enough, watch your step, slam dunk and rip the net. Chillin' on my private Laker, standing O after my set. Michael Scott with the paper, midnight level with the threat. Militant with the beat, left, left, right, left. I don't know what you've been told, but they all fucking with the best. No more fabricating lies, 30,000 in the sky. Mach 2 to the room, I'm an A, she open wide. Sipping coffee, no cream. 120 down the street. 11,000 with the heat. Turn the fuck up, bout to melt some steel beams. Sipping coffee, no cream. I'm already too sweet. 11,000 with the heat. Turn the fuck up, watch me melt some steel beams.